So, from bad news on the rights of women in the world, let's now go to bad news for the rights of the LGBT plus community. So, this one revolves around Georgia, the country, not the state, and it's about the ruling party cracking down on the LGBT plus rights. Specifically, sex change and adoption. Because apparently both of those are really scary. I don't know. Georgia's ruling party on Monday introduced a bill curtailing LGBT rights, a move seen by opponents as an attempt to boost its popularity ahead of elections in the conservative South Caucasus country, a candidate for European Union membership. Yes, because I'm sure that's going to help their candidacy to the European Union to actually take people's rights away. Sure, that's going to work really well to get membership. And for those who point out Hungary or Poland, I don't know how bad they were when they gained citizenship. It could be that they just, the wheels fell off after that. Because Lord knows Viktor Orban is not happy. I'm sure if he had his druthers, he would never have joined the European Union. So, anyway, the draft law would ban sex changes and adoption by same-sex couples, as well as prohibiting gatherings aimed at popularizing same-sex family or intimate relationships, whatever the fuck that means, according to a summary published by the Georgian Dream Party. All I can think of is as gatherings aimed at popularizing is all I can think of is pride parades or just, a couple on a picnic or holding hands. I mean, it could get pretty draconian. Not that banning pride parades isn't draconian, but it could get worse. But I'm pretty sure they're thinking pride. Maybe they are thinking about not wanting to see two guys kissing or two women kissing and thinking that's the grossest thing ever. It's possible they're thinking that too. But I'm pretty sure pride was the main reason. Okay. Mamuka Midinardze. I know I just butchered that. Leader of the party's Parliament caucus and a driving force behind the bill, said the law was necessary to protect family values in our future generations from what he called pseudo-liberal values. Okay. How are these pseudo-liberal values, for one thing? Pseudo means fake. Are you saying that liberals don't actually value human rights? You're saying that they're pretending for some reason? Which makes me wonder why? Alright, but protect family values in our future generations. From what? Family values. Okay, which family's values? Because not any one family values the same things. I mean, except for wanting to be able to raise a family without busybodies telling them that they're doing it wrong. I honestly don't know what other family values you're possibly thinking of. Yes, I know that that's code for a mommy and a daddy and two kids. I'm well aware of that. I'm just saying it's stupid. If that's the kind of family you want, great, go for it. Nobody is stopping you. And protecting our future generations. Again, from what? I mean, it's what do you think is happening in these families that happen to have same-sex parents? What exactly do you think they're doing to these children that makes you think that they're in danger of anything? Because last I checked, heterosexual couples are really, really good at messing up kids and being violent, um, being bullying. I mean, they ruin their physical health, mental health. I'm not quite sure what exactly you think you're protecting here. In a post on Facebook, the Tbilisi Pride LGBT rights organization called the proposed bill homophobic. Well, yeah, but considering it also is against sex change, not just homophobic. The country's opposition has said that Georgian Dream's anti-LGBT agenda is an attempt to shore up its support among conservatives and distract voters from economic problems ahead of parliamentary elections due by October. I have no idea where I saw November. But that makes sense. I mean, when things are going shitty for you, find a scapegoat and basically get people to think about things that really do not matter in the grand scheme of things, just so they can stop worrying about things that actually do matter. Because if they worry about things that do matter, you get screwed. So this is just a power play, which is a tactic old as time. Georgian Dream is ahead of other parties in the polls, but has lost support since 2020 when it won a narrow parliamentary majority. In his briefing, I'm just going to say the president. Let's see. Okay, the parliamentary caucus leader. I'm just not going to try to say his name anymore. Said the bill would likely pass after the elections. Of course, because this will... Now, the question is, will it really pass, or are they just threatening that it will pass just to get people to vote for them? Because it could literally go either way, but I'm pretty sure they would pass it regardless. A predominantly Orthodox Christian nation, Georgia is deeply socially conservative, with polls showing a large majority of the population disapprove of same-sex relationships. You know, that's just too damn bad, because human rights should not be up for a vote. You don't want a same-sex relationship? Fine, don't have one. I mean, I just don't see why so many people care so much about this and why people vilify it. I mean, again, it's not like heterosexual relationships are perfect and that nothing bad ever happens in a heterosexual relationship or with heterosexual children. Or I should say children of heterosexuals. I mean, I just don't see why we are so against same-sex relationships and same-sex families. I just don't see the problem here. In recent years, Tbilisi's annual Pride March has become a flashpoint. Well, at least they have one. That's a surprise. With far-right protesters attacking LGBT activists. Georgia's constitution has banned same-sex marriage since 2018. So when basically a bunch of countries around the world are realizing that, you know, same-sex relationships aren't demonic, Georgia is going the way of West Africa in attacking LGBT plus people. And I'm sorry. If you feel you are so morally in the right, why do you need to attack people? All I can say is in the US, when we had the civil rights movement in the 60s, the best the best argument against segregation and the white supremacist attitude was showing all the violence done to peaceful protesters. That is what got people to change their tune about, what are we doing? Why we do not want to see this. Even if I personally do not like this group of people, this is ridiculous. And it's being allowed. It's legal. So maybe the same thing will happen in Georgia, that people will see it, and even if they still are against LGBT plus rights, maybe they'll be like, okay, that's a bridge too far. I mean, we don't need to be attacking innocent people just because we don't like something. All right. Georgia's Interpress news agency cited the parliamentary caucus president as telling journalists that the bill could mean pride marches, told ya, and displays of the rainbow flag would be banned if they were deemed to promote same-sex relationships. Which, of course, they're going to be deemed that, because that's what pride is for. It's meant to say, I'm here, I'm gay, get over it. So, and rainbow flag. Well, technically, rainbows aren't just about being gay. You can have like a rainbow mug, and that has absolutely nothing to do with gay rights. You might just like rainbows. So I guess it would depend on how it's depicted. But a rainbow flag usually, yeah, that's for pride. So the one good thing is that they only have it out for the gay pride flag. I don't think they know what the other pride flags look like, so you might be able to get away with those. Gay pride, but, I'm going to fly this other flag of an orientation nobody's ever freaking heard of, because the bigots only think that there is gay and heterosexual and nothing else. And get around the law that way. But, technically it's promoting different orientations. Not exactly same-sex relationships. Because, first off, there's more than just gay people in the LGBT plus community, as I just mentioned. But also, that doesn't necessarily mean that they are interested in a relationship. There are gay asexuals, because they're homo-romantic, but they're asexual. So it's not like, or maybe they're aromantic asexual like I am. Okay, I think I just blew some bigoted minds. Not that it takes much, because we're part of the LGBT plus community. We march in these pride parades, but guess what we're not interested in? So, and they're bisexuals who might be currently dating someone of the opposite sex. Nobody would ever know that they're actually not heterosexual. So, I'm not sure where you're promoting same-sex relationships, same-sex people, among other things. But I don't know why these people are so damn focused on gay men. Lesbians, I understand, because they have this fantasy that that lesbians might let them join in or something because it's hot. Because they think lesbians are doing this for men, which is dumb. That's not why they're doing it. They're doing it because they're attracted to freaking women. But that's too much thinking for these bigots. Alright. Georgia obtained EU candidate status in December, achieving a long-standing goal. And like I said, this is not going to help them. But critics both within the country and in Western nations have in recent years accused successive Georgian Dream governments of authoritarian tendencies and excessive closeness to neighboring Russia. Yeah, the Georgian Dream government of today, probably Russia wouldn't have had to invaded Georgia and taken a part of its territory. They would have gladly let them have it. Or at least, Russia wouldn't have to annex anything. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, you're a good puppet. We're gonna leave you alone." Both Russia and Hungary, an EU member state that has faced accusations of authoritarianism from foreign and domestic critics, because Orban is authoritarian, had previously introduced their own laws against what their governments describe as LGBT propaganda. I don't know what they mean by that. Because that to me implies that someone can look at a rainbow flag, look at pride parades, and think, you know what, I think I'm going to be gay. Because like I mentioned, it's not just about being gay. There are other sexual orientations out there. It's not just gay and straight. So that's one thing. And then there's the problem of what I always point out. I grew up with heterosexuality around me. Heterosexual couples, heterosexual families, just surrounded by heterosexuality. I'm still asexual. By your logic, if I can call it that, there should not be anything other than heterosexual people, because obviously society is that influential that they can tell you what your orientation should be. No, that's not how sexual orientation works. They mention the sex changes at the top of this article, but they don't actually mention any parts of the bill that mention sex changes. Which is weird, unless whoever wrote this article isn't quite clear on the concept of what it means to be trans as opposed to gay themselves. I don't know. Because, yeah, that's the end of the article, and nowhere after the first sentence did they mention sex changes. But I have no problem believing that they're trying to ban those two. Because, propaganda or something. Anyway, that's all I have for this article, and I will see you guys in the next video.